The Utah Mammoth is sorta proud to present NashCast.
What the is a NashCast?
NashCast, the only hockey show on the planet. Hosted by a human speed bag, fourth line wannabe, healthy scratch, schnozzy moto, Tyson Nash.
Who the hell is Tyson Nash?
Never heard of him.
And the baritone with a brain, the velvet hammer, Mr. Silky, Tono Suave, the radio voice of your Utah Mammoth,
Code Blue!
Mike Folta.
Oh, Captain, my Captain!
NashCast begins now.
Ready for takeoff.
Here's Tyler Ganoush and Mickey Foghorn. Wait, what? Oh, here's Tyson Nash and Mike Folta.
Feeling good. All right, I'm solo today. I got the hair once again, as always, on sideways, but I've done you guys a favor and a solid. No tank top, okay? No Willie Nylander tank top. It's a little chilly. I'm still in Coeur d'Alene, rocking the podcast out. I'm at Ray Whitney's house right now. I'm dog sitting. I got one of his little girls right here. Well, not so little. This thing eats like it's going to the electric chair every day. I don't know how people afford big dogs or want to clean up after big dogs, but man, are they cute, and they take a lot of energy. But anyway, Ray Whitney, thank you. Shout out to you and Bridge. We are loving life here. We were just part of the that's what hockey players do in the summertime. They go to golf tournaments, and I was involved in a massive charity event just across the lake in Coeur d'Alene, the Community Cancer Fund. It was unbelievable. They raised millions and millions of dollars, and just rubbing elbows with the fans, the people that make the sporting world go round, right? Giving back to such a great cause. I lost my mother to cancer. Kelly Chase, one of my best friends right now, is in the fight of his life right now. He's a friend of the show. He's been on the show numerous times. So thinking about you, Chaser, when you do these events, it just means so much, right? And for players and athletes that have been given a stage and an opportunity to give back, not only with their time, but with money. I mean, a lot of these athletes were putting their paddles up and they're giving back. And it was a great cause. Boys to Men played one night. Beck played night number 2. It was incredible, the event that they put on. So that being said, now today is club championship. So I've never been involved in a club championship. I don't even know how I got in with my high handicap, but I am ready to rock, right? I am ready to skull it. They're going to have to resod this golf course, I would imagine. But enough about that. That's what I've been up to. I've been having one hell of a summer. It's been unreal. Family time. That's what it's all about. Spending time with your loved ones, going on vacation, just sitting around a fire pit, telling stories, having cocktails, hydrating. So lots of that going on while we wait for the National Hockey League to start up again. It seems like it's been an eternity. And this is a team with the Utah Mammoth that made the playoffs for the first time in so long, way too long. So the rebuild's over. The bar's been set. Brian and Ashley Smith, Bill Armstrong, they continue to add players and pieces to this roster. And our next guest here today, was part of the team, was part of a trade, came over, was injured to start his career with the Utah Mammoth. Which he talks about in this interview, and how tough it was mentally, right? Because as athletes and fans, you see these guys go out, they're making big money, it's in the media. It's hard to feel sorry for them. But when you're an athlete and you're going through it, there's nothing worse. Watching your new team battle it out and you're not able to contribute, right? So he talked about that struggle, that battle. This guy's from Boston, just outside of Boston. His favorite player, he talks about that being Sidney Crosby of the Pittsburgh Penguins. I mean, his mom and dad, his brother, his twin brother, they probably wanted to disown him at times because, I mean, that's enemy number one, right? When you grew up in Boston, you're a Boston Bruins fan, right? And that's his brother, Paul Chara, was his number one player. They were both allowed to have fat heads. So they talk about that and how those ended up on their walls. The room painted gold and black, right? Boston Bruins. Diehards. diehards. Talked also about Sidney Crosby playing for the Pittsburgh Penguins, Malkin, his relationship, just how these guys battle, how they play, how they prepare for games, how hard they work. Sidney Crosby in particular. He had so many great stories. I cannot wait for you guys to listen to this one, because this guy is going to be a cornerstone piece for the Utah Mammoth for so long. Played in the National Hockey League over 400 games already. I certainly didn't know how good this guy was. He flies under the radar. He can put up offense, which he's coming up with his, I think his career highs for points in the National Hockey League. But how about his plus minus? A plus minus, equivalent to guys like Makar and Hughes, like the best players in our game. And, John Marino, this guy deserved everything. He's a 6th round draft pick. So kids out there, you're pissed off, you're upset, you get drafted late. Don't worry about it. Undrafted. I mean, so many great stories, and John Marino was certainly one of those. So he signs an 8-year extension, 54 sheets in the bank with the Mammoth, but he's also got 1 more year left on his existing contract. So he's going to be in Utah for the next 9 years, and he's a foundational piece. Bill Armstrong talked about it. He goes, this guy makes us go wrong. He's part of the fabric of our blue line. What he does on the ice, what he does off the ice, just all of it, right? So John Marino, can't wait for you to hear some of these stories. Also had a great one about his dad. This guy is legendary. You've seen it. If you've been to the Utah Mammoth games, you've seen this guy floating around. He's like part of The Sopranos. This guy is as good as it gets. He could be in waste management back in Boston. Who knows? But John had a few good stories about his dad, about his family, about his twin brother as well, who was part of Harvard when he was going through it. Talks about his experience in Harvard, which is one hell of a, you go to Harvard, but he didn't graduate. That's the crazy part, because he ended up turning pro. So he talks about some of the conversations he had with his mom and dad over that, giving up a degree to go play and start his National Hockey League career. I think he made the right choice. I think he did. So again, they just keep adding pieces, extending the right pieces, right? So all that being said, I hope you guys enjoy John Marino, new 8-year extension, and the Brinks truck. I think we can still hear it backing up to his front door. So well-deserved. Hope everyone's enjoying their summer, and I hope you guys enjoy this interview. Feeling good. All right. What's up, Mammoth Nation? You are locked into another episode of NashCast, powered by the Utah Mammoth. This is my boy, Mike Folta. I'm your host, the human speed bag and beef jerky suit right now. It's summertime. We have one of the anchors on the blue line, the anchor on the Utah Mammoth blue line. He puts up points. He's become Utah's most reliable defenseman. The Harvard Brains, East Coast Edge, John Marino. Welcome to the show, brother.
What's up, boys? Thanks for having me.
Johnny, hey, what were you feeling when you put your John Hancock on that contract? 8 years, the times were $7 million per year. That had to have felt pretty good. But what were the emotions when you were kind of settling into signing with Utah for the next decade?
Yeah, I think that takes some time to settle in once you're in Utah for 8 more years. But no, obviously my family was super stoked. Friends too. Had a little get together Saturday night to just celebrate everything. But it was great. It was great.
Hey, you're buying now, you know that. And by the way, you can get that tooth fixed, I think. You can afford it now. But for you, I mean, this is life-changing. It really is. I mean, every player, you dream of playing in the National Hockey League, but then you dream about making a living at it, right? And that security, which obviously you had in that last contract that you signed, but this one, I mean, you are a Mammoth for almost a lifer.
Yeah, like you said, you never think about it when you're growing up, just playing the sport you love. And, you're just kind of thinking about it, year after year. You don't really think about long-term stuff or, where you're going to end up in 15, 20 years. You're just living day to day, at this age and whatever. But, it's pretty cool. You're able to do that or get where you are now. And you're just playing a game.
It's kind of a crazy time for contracts around the league. But general manager Bill Armstrong has been pretty direct in signing a lot of the core pieces for Utah. So as you're watching, Gunther and Cooley and Schmaltz and others sign these deals, like how much of an inkling did you have that you would be one of the next ones to sign up for a long-term deal?
Yeah, not that much. There wasn't too many discussions this summer, and everything came together, pretty quick. Say in the last, couple of weeks or so. So it's nothing like we talked about in the year. Like it was definitely going to happen one way or the other. It wasn't really sure. But like you said, it's great to have these core group of guys that are going to be here for a long time as well. That's kind of what you want. You want that tight group in the locker room, and you want to all kind of live close to each other and go through, that growing pain together and everything like that. So it's great to have.
Could you ever imagine that this was going to happen? I mean, a few years ago, you were in Jersey. Sorry, that was a windstorm. All my notes went flying, as well as my toupee. But could you ever imagine? I mean, you were in New Jersey. Now you're in Utah. Now you have an 8-year contract, really a 9-year contract, right? Because you have another year left in your last one.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of ups and downs, with especially my career. You have some good years, some bad. You've been traded twice. You don't really know what's going to happen. So, it's nice to be able to find a place that you fit in, especially a place especially Utah with the fans and the ownership and how well we're treated. So, I got super lucky.
What's a lot of moves made by the team this summer, and you guys made the playoffs last year, but now for the first time, the team goes out and adds a couple of pieces, and Vincent Trocheck and Anders Lee that everybody else was after too. So what's the group chat like when those guys are getting added and you guys are like, holy smokes, we're getting the captain of the Islanders, this guy who was on Team USA, like it's go time now.
Yeah, they haven't said too much yet, but I'm sure as the season gets going, once we're in there for training camp and all meet each other, obviously speak for themselves as players, but I heard they're just great guys too. I know Trout a bit too. He'll be champion in the group for sure, but it'll be great to have him. He'll fit right in.
With the playoffs last year, Vegas, that was a different animal, but you guys gave them everything and more they could handle. I mean, do you think like this is really going to help and kind of put you over the top? You've been on so many great teams. You played with so many great players. That locker room, you just added 2 huge pieces.
100%. They bring that. They've been around for so long. I mean, I think that was one of the things that hurt us this year in playoffs was maybe experience in those late games. Like we blew all those leads. So it'll be great to have those guys around in those situations. But we expect a lot more of those kind of series and hopefully come out on the better end of it.
Another big moment for you here as we're recording this today with the announcement of the contract, but I'm sure it felt like a big moment when you were traded to Utah originally, because I think your trade announcement came down like 10 minutes after Mikhail Sergachev. Did you know that he was in play to Utah and you, or did you find that all out separately like we all did? How did that go down?
Yeah, I had no clue, no idea. I think I was on my buddy's bachelor trip when I got traded, so like. One of my buddies was like, "Oh, you like Sergachev's going there. Like it actually might like they're starting to load up. Like it's gonna be they have really good young players." And I had no idea, of anything. Kind of like the rest of the league, like Utah kind of comes out of nowhere and they're dialed in, getting all these guys, new practice facility, everything like that. So it's been an unbelievable spot.
Talk about just the trade, and then obviously coming to Utah, and I mean. You have that back surgery and the mental, everyone sees, right? The good, the contracts, the money, the fans, all that, but they don't see the mental grind of it. I've been through that. There is nothing worse. I can't imagine, especially getting traded to a new team and not even being able to show what you can do. How did you manage that part of it?
Yeah, like it was horrible. You go to a new team and like you think you're going to come in and have a great year, prove everyone wrong, blah, blah, blah. But then you can't even play. You got back surgery. You got to wait months to play your first game, and then you can only play less than half the year. So it's kind of a wash, right? Like you could have the best 30 games ever, no one even cares. So no, it was an absolute grind. Like you can't even hang out with the guys, right, when you're hurt. So you're just kind of isolated for a bit in a brand new spot where you don't really know that many people, but just kind of stick with it and hope for the best.
And now you have a new coach on defense too, in Adam Foote.
Yeah.
And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe you've ever had a coach, a defensive coach with as much pedigree playing as he has. Stanley Cups, all the games.
No,
right?
yeah, not playing. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
what
100%. Yeah, it'll be great to have him. We'll pick his brain. I mean, he's seen everything in the game. There's nothing I'm sure he hasn't seen. So, I mean, he seems pretty like level-headed and easygoing. What's going on there?
is that some construction, Nasher?
Yeah, I think it's someone's trying to nail down my toupee again. It's my neighbor doing his roof.
Yeah.
Sorry, sorry, boys. Holy jeez! But hey, I gotta ask you. Like, I'm just glad that Footy's not the guy. I mean, I had the biggest nose forever in the organization. Then we bring in Tusky, thank God. Now we got Footy. This is
Right.
This is fantastic.
Yeah.
But talk about your career year last year. I mean, plus minus points, everything seemed to go right for you. What do you think was the biggest contributing factor?
Yeah, I mean, without giving like obviously all credits go to your teammates first, but then second of all for me, I'd say just being able to be healthy for like the first time in a couple of years. I had some back problems in Jersey too, and I was able to just be fully healthy, have a full summer of training. I know we missed the playoffs, but it gives you a little extra time to just get back to the player that you want to be. So, there's a bunch of factors that go into it. Teammates first, and I'd say health second.
I mean, the back is so crucial. Like if you have back problems, that's got to affect everything, I would think. So is that just a lot of
it's a big
core
part.
stuff?
It's a big part.
Yeah. Like, is that a lot of core, or how do you just rest? I mean, how does that even get better?
Yeah, it's just a lot of rehab. You basically just got to wait till it gets better, and there's not much you can do. You don't want to push it too hard, get hurt again. I mean, yeah, it's just tedious process, right? Same thing with any other injury.
So, as far as being a shutdown defenseman, and Fultz knows a lot about back injuries because he's been carrying my ass around on this podcast for the last couple of years. But how do you balance that, being a shutdown defenseman, shot blocker, eating pucks, but also contributing offense like you did this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think we were able to get more involved offensively, but especially with this group of skill forwards and everything like that, you kind of learn where they're going to be, where they want the puck, and they kind of take care of the rest. But I mean, like the way we play compared to maybe in Jersey or other teams, like it's more run and gun, right? You see us snapping it around, and those guys are just so good that you just got to know where to find them, and they'll do the rest.
I know watching you and Nate Schmidt was a ton of fun this last year, and one of the things that was kind of obvious, even to someone like me, is like how good of a Hail Mary passer Nate Schmidt is. Like those seam passes straight up the ice, he can hit those home runs, and you're a great puck mover as well. So, do you think that was that one of your strengths, like him being able to hit those home runs throughout the year, but also your ability shift after shift to get the puck up on guys' tapes while they're in motion?
Yeah, I wish he got me a little more second assists, but we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that with him over the summer. But no, yeah, obviously he's great. He's played in the league for so long. He knows exactly the kind of player he is and what he has to do. But like, obviously, there's a reason he's been in the league that long. Like you said, be able to make those plays. He's got a great shot. He just knows the game so well, so he makes it a lot easier.
Is there a guy that maybe you tried to emulate growing up that you watched? I mean, your game is very unique, right? On both sides of the puck. Yeah. Was there an old timer that you were like, hey, I want to play a little bit like this guy and a little bit like that guy?
Yeah, not like an old timer, but like I watched like a Matt Niskanen, I feel like would like just always like come up and like someone like that, but like nothing like, I'd like love to watch this guy or anything. No, nothing crazy.
We're going to get into your backstory too here in a little bit, but I wanted to ask, because you've been traded technically 3 times now, if you include Edmonton to Pittsburgh, and it's funny
kind of a
to
suitcase.
It's funny to see, like,
a rich one.
It's funny to see the value you've brought back has gone up each time you've been traded, and now the price would be even higher now compared to what Utah paid for you. But what's been behind your progression ever since you entered the league with Pittsburgh, then on to New Jersey, and now to Utah?
Yeah, there's a lot you got to figure out. Like first year you come in, you're just playing so raw. You don't really think about systems or anything. You're playing strictly off adrenaline, right? And then when that kind of wears off or that doesn't work anymore, then you get in a rut, kind of like my second year, and then you got to figure it out all over again. Jersey was great. We had a great year the first year, and the second year team just wasn't as good. And it is what it is. You're odd man one out. Yeah, I don't know. You just you got to stick with it, right? And trust yourself as a player, and you can't kind of get rid of those doubts.
So I got to go way back, and this happened to me. I know you've talked about this on lots of different podcasts. You and your brother, you were born. Your brother had the kind of the bow-legged legs,
Yeah.
and I had the same thing. So when I read this, I was like, oh my God. And to this day, I always say it. You look around the league, and the best skaters in our game are bow-legged. Connor McDavid, Sidney Crosby, right? Tyson Nash. But no, it's not Tyson Nash because my parents put these braces on my legs. Right, that took that out. I'd probably still be playing if I was bow-legged.
100%.
But your brother, that story, it's incredible. So the doctor, the doctor tells you, hey, put these braces on his legs. How about get him on the ice? This will help straighten out his legs.
Yeah. So like we were like, I don't know, we were like 2 years old. The doctor was like, we can either break his legs or put him on skates. And we're twins. So like you put one twin on skates, you could put the other on skates. And that's how I got started skating. Well, just because of him. It's not like my parents played or really had that many connections in hockey. So kind of a crazy story of how you started skating.
It's nuts.
And
nuts.
he was a video coach first at Harvard. Like, I know he
would like, yeah. No. He like cuts up film. He was cutting up film at Harvard. He was kind of just doing all this stuff that maybe the coaches didn't want to do.
Yeah.
He was better with the computer, but he does he works at LA now, does analytics for them. So
was he like showing you clips on the iPad on the bus and stuff like that?
No, I don't think I would listen to that. No. If you knew better. Yeah.
That's unreal. So weren't you gonna you guys were gonna play together as seniors, were you not at Harvard? And then
he wasn't playing. He was just kind of working for the team there.
Right. And then I guess you didn't finish because you only played 3 years at Harvard. So you said, forget with the degree, I'm turning pro. I imagine mom and dad were like, oh my God, what is he doing? What's he doing? And then opening night happens.
Yeah. What do you mean, like with Pittsburgh?
With Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah. I think I was scratched the first couple games there or something. But I was lucky it worked out. I was able to finish my degree during COVID, so I didn't have to go back in person. I got lucky, but it worked out.
What was that like in Pittsburgh? I mean, Sidney Crosby, Malkin, two of the best to ever play the game, and you're sitting beside them. You're soaking it up like a sponge. And you grew up, idolizing Sidney Crosby, did you not?
100%. Yeah, I had all their fat heads and everything. Like that's why I said I was watching the Pens so much. You know what I mean? You go there, you see them, you're around those guys. It's a completely different atmosphere. And obviously it is. Stay on a team like Utah, where it's a bunch of young guys. They've all played forever. Won cups and everything. It's just a different environment. But super cool. Just to have that experience, to go to other teams as well, to just know what it's like. Yeah, it's hard to honestly describe it, but it's pretty cool.
What was Crosby like though? Is it true? He's the hardest working guy. He's first on, last, all those things.
Yeah, all those stories he's like the best leader I've ever seen, or the way he carries himself as well. Every story you've heard, that's probably no way, blah, blah, blah. Even him being super superstitious. This guy's unbelievable. It's super impressive. And then he's also a little nuts how superstitious he is.
I went back and found your first goal with Pittsburgh, your first NHL goal. And it's in Boston. So you got all your family in the suite and you're coming out of a penalty box on a breakaway and you score. Were you in that moment, did you feel better that the boys killed off the penalty or that you scored your first NHL goal?
First goal, for sure. First goal. That was such a lucky bounce. But that was my first game in Boston playing back home. So it's like a friend's family, you have 50 people, whatever it is. And that was super special to, obviously I got lucky coming out of the box. It's every guy's dream, but yeah.
My whole career was lucky, John. I can tell you that. But you get drafted 6th round. Your journey is a fascinating one because it's not like you were, a first rounder. You were a 6th rounder to the Edmonton Oilers. What happened with the Oilers that you didn't end up signing there? Again, I'm from Edmonton, and it just kills me. I'm like, these guys cannot get out of their own way. And John Marino, they let him go. They don't sign him, and now look at you.
Yeah, they had a ton of D there. I remember they drafted 2 other D ahead of me. So even in my class, I was like, oh, I'm kind of screwed here. It's not going to be my best chance to play. And then obviously once you go to college and you have all that leverage, it's like, well, I might as well just go to the place that I think is going to be best for me. So that's kind of just what ended up happening. But they had so many prospects and everything like that. I just thought there was no way.
I
Nobody
read
making 56 million, I can tell you that.
well, I had read that you guys were close with the Stevens and Kevin Stevens family.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
he obviously
He was
played,
like my
won a
coach
couple
growing
times.
up. Yeah, he was great. He's a legend. He's unbelievable.
Was he part of or did he help get you to Pittsburgh, or was there any connection there by the time you signed there, or no?
Yeah, he helped me out there too. He like just talked to me about Pittsburgh, how much I'd like it, how much I'd enjoy it. He's been around the organization forever, so he was a huge influence, definitely. Yeah.
You'd think Scott Stevens, but it was Kevin Stevens. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Toughest player to defend. It's what you do. It's probably what keeps you up at night. I mean, some guys love to score goals, right? But your
Yeah.
passion, I think, is defending. Who is the toughest guy to defend?
I think those young, quick guys are so tough to defend. Like, obviously, you can say McDavid, McKinnon, but like those young guys that just fly around, like cut back 7 times, it's just exhausting keeping up with them. Like that Demidov, like we haven't even played against him that much, but I know how good he is and how sneaky he is. Like, it's just those guys are so skilled. It's tough. I remember playing against Arizona, and it's like hard to defend Coles and Kells.
Yeah, well, you get them every day in practice. So that must help a little bit, right? I mean, does it?
Yeah, 100%. I would think so. Yeah, they're so good. And just being able to see what they do, what they don't like, what they like. Like, you can kind of pick them apart and just, kind of pick their brains a bit.
You always seem to have ice in your veins. Like I bet if we strapped a heart rate monitor on you, it would never get above resting. But what is something that does rattle you a little bit? Maybe just in real life, like you step on a Lego or stub your toe or something like that. What gets under your skin?
It's a good question. I don't even know. Maybe like if like people are just like slow. Like I hate probably driving, honestly, mostly driving. Like if people just are like in the way, no awareness, that'll drive me nuts.
Guys with white tank tops, the
Guys
Willie
with white
Nylander.
tank
I got.
tops and-
This is like Boston. Is this not Boston? Like, tell me about your dad. Like, your dad is legendary, right? Like,
Yeah,
he should
he's
be part of the
right.
Sopranos. Is his job the waste management? I mean, this guy is like legit gangster.
Yeah, he's a riot. He owned like a little liquor store in our hometown growing up. This guy, he's got like the biggest Boston accent. He walks around like they used to call him the Penguin because he like waddled around. So funny. But he'd be at like every rink. Like every rink knows who he is. He'll talk to anybody. I don't know if you've talked. I'm sure you have, but like he'll find you.
We're getting him on the show. You got to ask him to come on the show.
Yeah, definitely.
How many leather jackets can he buy with this new contract? Because I always see him in like this leather jacket. It looks dynamite, just old school, having a good time.
It's a good question. You might stick with the original. I don't know if he ever wants to switch it up. You might look like a different one, but it's probably just the same one.
Growing up, you had an instant teammate in your brother. Obviously, you guys are tight twins, but you had the dryer. I saw in the basement or in the garage. I'm not sure where it was, but did you get that from Sidney Crosby?
Yeah, he completely copied Sid. I think he like saw in like an article or something. He's like, my kid's got to do this. So he just kind of copied it. Right in the basement.
I think he hit it a few more times than you guys did.
Yeah, I think so too.
What was Gino like? Because everybody asked about Sid, but I think Gino is just as interesting of a character in that room.
Yeah, he's the funniest guy I've ever played with. He's so funny. Like everyone, like, yeah, I talk about his skill all day, whatever, but he's the funniest guy ever. He's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't have a story I can tell like on the podcast, but like he's a riot.
Do you have any stories growing up in Boston? I mean, you're a Boston Bruins fan, apparently, but now I found out you're a Pittsburgh Penguins fan, or was it just a Crosby fan? Are you a baseball fan? Did you go to Fenway? I've never been myself. I've never seen the Green Monster up close, but do you have any baseball stories? They are on an absolute heater right now. They're 114 straight.
Yeah. So hot. Yeah. I mean, I remember growing up, it's like when at 04, I mean, I was only like 7, but they broke the curse and then they won a couple of championships after. Fenway's incredible. Like actually I try to go like once a summer. It's unreal. There's nothing like a summer baseball game at Fenway actually, but Yeah, I don't know, just all Boston sports. I was spoiled growing up, what the Patriots and everything. I mean, I was a diehard Boston sports fan, 100% growing up.
Did you play baseball at all? I mean, you got the frame for it. You could be a pitcher, throw gas from the right side.
Yeah, I played for a bit. Played baseball, football, hockey, and that was like the major three until obviously you got to figure one out.
So you play junior hockey. What is it, the USHL, right? Then you go to college at Harvard. What are your thoughts on the NCAA now allowing junior players, in the CHL to play? I mean, do you have a thought on it? Do you guys talk about it at all?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, like mostly the schools that are going to be able to like afford the NIL are going to be doing the best, right? Like all those other schools, or like even like a Harvard, or they don't really give out money. So like those schools it's gonna be harder to recruit for sure. But I mean, it is what it is, and it's good for the players and get some money, if they need it. Like in college, you have 10 grand in college, you're gonna be the richest kid on campus. So good for them.
I just want my kid off payroll. That's all I can tell you. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Sure.
John, I got one more for you. I don't know how many Tyson has. I think all his notes blew away, so he might be out soon. But why 6? I have some suspicions, but why number 6?
Yeah, it was like one of the ones available.
Oh, it wasn't not because that was the round you were drafted or anything. Not like a chip on the shoulder reminder.
No, I didn't even think of that. No, it was just available.
And you don't ask questions, Fultz. Mine was 9. I had no reason why. I was just hanging in the locker room when you get there. But last one for me. Do you have a welcome to the NHL moment? Was it opening up that first paycheck? Was it seeing your jersey for the first time in the locker room? What was it?
Yeah, I'd say it was probably when I was one of my first couple games. I was playing with Eric Goodbranson, and he was like, "Hey, like you can do whatever you want out there." Like he's like, "I'm right next to you." And he's like, "If you want to take a run at someone, you want to try to take someone's head off." He's like, "Go ahead." I was like, "All right." So first shift, he goes out there, tries to take someone's head off, and I'm like, "Dude, like you're gonna sewer me. Like now I'm gonna have, He almost murdered this guy and like just missed him. But I was like, "Oh my god!" Like, he almost killed him. It was one of the biggest misses hits like that could have been. Like, and I was like, "This guy's a monster."
Oh, unreal. Unreal, dude. We cannot thank you enough, man. I know you're a busy man. Congratulations on the new contract. So happy for you. So happy for us broadcasters of the Utah Mammoth to again watch you for the next 9 years. So good stuff, buddy. Enjoy your summer.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Well, there you have it. John Marino. What a story. What a journey. 6th round pick in the National Hockey League. To the Edmonton Oilers, believe it or not. I'm an Edmonton Oilers fan through and through. This is a guy, Utah signs him to an 8-year extension. Pittsburgh had him at a 4 or 5 or 6-year contract as well. How did the Edmonton Oilers miss on this one? I mean, this guy is an absolute stud. 40 plus 42. That's almost 10 better than Cale Makar, one of the best defensemen in the game. So, John Marino, thank you for your time, sharing some of these stories. Your twin brother, how good was that one? And I have a similar story. He was born with bow legs, and obviously, like it's not a huge thing, but my parents, they made me wear these braces and these shoes to take that away. And I'm like, oh my God, what did you guys do? The best skaters in our game are bow-legged. Sidney Crosby. Oh, a guy by the name of, Makar, McKinnon. I mean, it's McDavid. Like, they're all a little bit bow-legged. So, anyway, what an interview. His relationship with Kevin Stevens, just how good of a guy he was, how he ended up in Pittsburgh with the Penguins because of Stevens. And playing alongside his son Luke Stevens. So his relationship with Sidney Crosby, the dryer story in his basement. How great is that? I mean, him and his brother Paul, they did the same thing. Sidney Crosby's been talking about this story forever. I think he got a few more in the basket though than I think John Marino might have. So his journey from Pittsburgh, New Jersey, now in Utah, how excited he is, the long-term contract that he signed. And again, just more pieces. You sign John Marino long-term. He's an anchor on your blue line. You have Sergachev. You got Simachev, who's hopefully, going to take another step this year and is going to play a lot more in the National Hockey League on that blue line. So that's kind of your future, even though they lost a few, veteran pieces back there. You got to make room, and you have to open things up for some of your younger guys for more ice time. So the trade, he talked about that, coming to Utah from New Jersey and being hurt and having that back surgery and having to sit out, and just how you feel so not part of the team, right? And especially the year that Utah had, trying to get back into the playoffs. But what John Marino can do when he's healthy, we saw it last year, plus 42, career high in points. He's a special defenseman, and showed some personality in that interview too. So thank you for that. The hockey players that play currently, they're a little bit standoffish, whether it's a podcast or we interview them, on TV. They're a little standoffish, a little scared to show their personalities. And but we saw, more and more. That's what this show brings out, is the personalities in these players, because hockey players are some of the best athletes on earth. They're so approachable, just great humans from the core. So talked about also, the difference between some of these teams that he's been on, right? But he's part of the Devils, part of Pittsburgh, like those locker rooms, and just what and how Utah is perceived, right? And how hard they are. You talk to players around the league, no one wants to come into the Delta Center. First of all, the crowd is buzzing, it's intimidating, and then you face this young group just full of speed. They want to play a track meet. They want to get up the ice. They want to get back. They can bang and crash. Now they're getting bigger. Guys like Anders Lee in the lineup, Trocheck, another addition. So this team is going to do some damage. And hopefully I do some damage today on the golf course, besides just chewing up the sod all over the place. Divots on the green, balls in the water, lots of water on this course. So wish me luck. Cannot wait. That's what we do in the summer as hockey players, ex-hockey players. We play golf, and we play a lot of it. I hope everyone's having one hell of a summer. Thank you for taking the time to enjoy that interview. To John Marino, once again, thank you for the stories. And we will see you next week. Thanks, everybody.